I can't give you just a random number without knowing what you want, because I don't want to run the risk of overcharging or undercharging for my services. So it's my job to understand you and what you need so that I can tell you what it's going to cost to give you what you need. You know, it's as simple as that. So today, just like the title of that video says, we're going to be discussing what you need to do before you start discussing your service rates. If you're new here, my name is Nadia. I am a commercial product photographer and I run a business called Click Pop Studio. We are a colorfully loud creative agency for bold brands. And today we are talking about service rates. Yes, I've said it for I think the second or third time, but this is important. So when it comes to you communicating your business and your services, that question is going to come up about money. You know, that person that you're talking to is going to say, so how much is it going to cost? What is a job? You know, give me the rundown. You know, either it's going to break me or not. And so I would say before you start talking about money, you need to be getting all of the information you can about the project, everything, so that you can figure out what the scope of that project is in order to give your client, your potential client, a realistic estimate. So my field is photography, as I've stated before. I don't know what your field is. You may be a pastry chef, you know, or you may sell chocolates or something like that. I don't know. But like if someone is commissioning you to do a service for them, fulfill a service for them, you need to know specifics. You know, with me, how many images, what kind of products are we photographing? You know, what is the product made out of? Is it super shiny? Does it need to be in water? How does it need to be styled? How big is the product? You know, I need to know all of these things, these details, these key details, in order to get a better understanding of the labor that would come with that job per se. Every job is different. The cost of every job is different. And so typically I don't have set package prices. Like for something basic like e-commerce images or just website images, your product shot on just white backdrop, I can say, okay, I'll charge you this amount of money per image. But everybody's number is different as far as what they're looking to sell, what they're launching, you know, what they're debuting. And so the best way for you to get a better angle on what you need to know before you give them a number is asking them those key questions, you know, and have a list of questions, you know, in that intake form that we talked about a few videos ago. If you haven't seen that video, go back and check it out. It's going to be linked right up at the top. But having those things set up, like that intake form, that client assessment, those things really help you to understand, number one, the scope of the project. It really gives your client the time to really communicate to you what they're looking for so that you can give them a number, however astronomical it may be based on how you price your services. It's realistic for that particular job. And so with me, I get all of the key details, you know, the number of products, like I said, the way it needs to be styled, the type of photography they're looking for, whether it's like still lives, interesting flat lays, or just basic of the basic, you know, my product styled with nothing else. Those different styles of photography take a little bit more time. You know, some are more intricate than others. So based on the amount of products that I would need to photograph would determine the kind of labor it would cost. So if it's a 1-day shoot or a 3-day shoot, that number is going to be different. And so when a client initially asks me, what's your service rate? My rebuttal is, well, what are you looking for? Because I can't give you just a random number without knowing what you want, because I don't want to run the risk of overcharging or undercharging for my services. So it's my job to understand you and what you need so that I can tell you what it's going to cost to give you what you need. You know, it's as simple as that. And so you will have certain clients that want to haggle and say, well, just tell me what you got, then I'll tell you what I got. It's that whole game of chicken, and it's up to you to decide if you want to fold first. I will let that car hit me. I will win that game of chicken every time, because what I won't do is allow a client to kind of bombard my boundaries. I need this information from you, not to trick you out of money, not to, you know, get you to pay me more than what you're willing to pay. I need to know what job I'm going to have to do. And if I undercharge, then that's going to be on me to have to eat that, you know, and just essentially work for free. And so if you can't comply and communicate to me clearly and honestly about the kind of services that you need, then I can't really give you an honest answer when it comes to the cost of a service. So it's a give and take situation. And so typically I would say the clients that aren't willing to work with you are clients that you don't really want to work with, because they're already showing how much of a headache they're going to be later on. And that just may be me. Again, I work in photography, so I have to know those specifics when it comes to giving a proper estimate for the type of services that I'd be providing. So again, if you're a pastry chef, if you're a dog walker, whatever your service is, I would definitely advise you to really have that intake form, or just have a list of questions to ask that client. And those questions need to be based off of your job from beginning to end, like from, when you sign on with a client, when you're doing the job, during the post-processing, if that's something that exists within your services, cleanup, all of that, all the ranges, all the stages of your job from beginning to end. You need to have questions that relate to your particular process. So when they have other answers or other questions that deviate from that, you now know, okay, I would essentially charge this for this type of job, but they're asking for extra. So based on whatever that extra is, I now know that I need to charge more because this is bigger or different than the usual jobs that I do. So that's where that questioning comes into play. And it's all about just understanding and being understood. That's the give and take of a service-based business, especially my service-based business. And yeah, so that is something I would advise. Let me know in the comments if you agree or if you disagree, if you have your own way of going about getting that information from clients, or if you just go ahead and tell people what your rate is off the bat and if that works for you. Feel free to like this video. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.